Well, hello, beautiful people. It's me, Sam, from your friendly neighborhood Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. It's the day after the 4th of July. I hope everyone had a good 4th of July. In honor of Indiana Jones coming out this past weekend, I kind of wanted to make a video on my rankings of the Indiana Jones movies. There's some of my favorite series. Really love Harrison Ford, grew up on him. My dad was a huge fan, so of course he introduced me to Indy. And I will also be making a separate video in regards to the unfortunate box office numbers for Indiana Jones, and some recent releases as well. But like I said, that'll be a different video. So before I start with my list, just gonna FYI, this is just my opinion. That's it. I mean, I know there's gonna be some placements of some films that are gonna be a little upsetting to some people. They're like, oh, I don't agree with that. That's fine. It's just my opinion. So without further ado, let's get into it. At my number 5, which I think is going to be in a lot of people's number 5 spot, is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Look, I don't hate this movie. In fact, there's a lot of things that I actually love with this film. I think Steven Spielberg as a director, I mean, he's easily one of the greatest directors of all time. There's no denying that. Are there a lot of ridiculous stuff in this film? Yes. Are there things that people say this is what makes the film terrible? Yes. And I can see why people hate this film. I think they took a lot of big swings with it, no pun intended. And a lot of it didn't hit. A lot of it I felt like worked, and it worked for me. I think that they made a just under 2 hour long Indiana Jones movie, and I love that. And I mean, most people have already seen it. A lot of people hated the whole aliens. I didn't mind that. I actually liked it. You know, I thought it was cool that Steven Spielberg was kind of mixing two genres that he's kind of messed with, and although it didn't completely work, I thought it worked enough for me. It's entertaining. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon. I have good memory with this. Just recently I rewatched it with my brother, and I had no idea that he was a fan of the Indiana Jones films, and so it was a good time to just sit down and watch it. And my number 4 pick is a movie that I actually watched with my brother, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I absolutely loved the first hour, first hour, 10 minutes. I thought it was great momentum, top tier. I mean, it was just a great time. I do see a lot of people's complaints about the second half of the film, and I do kind of agree with that, you know, but I thought it was decent enough. I enjoyed it for the most part. It wasn't as terrible as a lot of people are saying. And I think they were going for more somber, more Indy has always been grounded, but also a little bit fantasy. And this one they made him more serious, but I mean, he's an older guy, you know, he's gone through stuff. And I like that mature take on Indy, and I like this movie. I think it was a solid summer film, and I'm surprised it even made 60 million, to be honest with you. Everyone was saying that it was very minimal, you know, like the minimum, oh man, it bombed. And yeah, it did, but I honestly thought it was going to make between 40 and 50. It did better than I thought it would do. So I hope more people see it. I wish more people had seen it, because I think it's a solid summer film. But yeah, at my number 4 spot is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. At my number 3 spot, this is where, you know, no matter how I rate these top 3, it's just someone's gonna be upset, but at my number 3 spot is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So the reason why this, I'm trying to tread carefully, because okay, so the first time I watched this movie, I liked it, but I thought it was extremely overrated. Over the years, I've watched it more and more, and I've come to really, really love this film. I do. I love it. I love Sean Connery in this. I love the whole prologue when Indy's younger. I love the whole dynamic between the two of them. And it really gets me emotionally because I was really close with my father. And so this is really a movie about a father and a son, you know, and I love that. But it's not a perfect film. It's not great. I to this day, I still don't understand why a lot of people say that it's just this great masterpiece blockbuster. And I think it's pretty great. I just don't think it's a masterpiece. I just don't think it's perfect. So The Last Crusade is my number 3. And to be honest with you, I think they should have just left it with The Last Crusade. It would have been one of the greatest trilogies of all time. But of course, Hollywood, they want to make money. But The Last Crusade is my number 3 spot. At my number 2, this is going to be another one that's going to get a lot of people upset. Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is like considered one of, if not the greatest summer blockbuster movie of all time. It's great. I love a young Alfred Molina. I love the whole Nazi. Like this movie is just fantastic. Not only is it a great summer movie, it's just a great movie, period. So Raiders of the Lost Ark is my second favorite. And my favorite, Indiana Jones. It's an unpopular opinion. I don't care. This movie is The Temple of Doom, and this is pretty much a 2-hour long roller coaster ride. I think it has one of the greatest opening sequences of any movie when they're in the restaurant, the whole shootout and everything. I love that. I think it's just, yeah, it's fantastic, man. When I first watched Raiders, I really liked it. I didn't love it, but when I watched Temple of Doom, maybe especially adding Short Round, I loved him in it. It brought me so much joy, so much entertainment. Easily one of the best times I've had at the movies. I got to watch it at, like, they reissued it in the theaters, and I got to watch it, and it was just such a good time. I love this movie. Like I said, it's like you're on a roller coaster. It's 2 hours, and it's pretty dark. I mean, for a PG movie, I believe this is the movie that made them create the PG-13 rating because of how disturbing it was. It's pretty disturbing, and at the time when I watched it, when I was younger, it gave me some nightmares, but in all the best ways. I love this movie. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, as much as of an unpopular opinion as it is my favorite indie movie. I loved it so much. So to recap, at my number 5 spot is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. At my number 4 spot is The Dial of Destiny. At my number 3 spot is The Last Crusade. At my number 2 spot is Raiders of the Lost Ark, the OG. And at my number 1, my favorite Indiana Jones movie is The Temple of Doom. Guys, let me know what you think of my list. What's your list? Let's try to keep it as clean as possible. You know, yeah, you can disagree, agree, whatever, but just try to keep it respectful. Thank you guys, and take care out there.